YouTube, welcome to the top 8 of the Meta Weekly, and we are starting off with Stun, post-ban list, Fossil Dyna to 1, Jowgen to 0, and we're playing against pure Unchained in this post-ban list duel, starting off the top 8. Are you ready, mate? Hajime.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
By watching as long as you can, that greatly supports these videos, and I appreciate you immensely for it. Begin. Pot of Duality. Do we even use our Ash on this? Ain't no way. We're going to grab the barrier statue of the Torrent, activate Necro Valley. Now, what is the current state of this duel? Neither player could special summon except water monsters, and I believe the only water monster in Unchained is a Shayama. Otherwise, the rest of the extra deck and every other monster is not, well, actually we have a Caesar, but how are we going to get a second level 6 monster to even be able to special summon this? So it's not going to happen. We also have Solemn Judgment, which could negate a normal summon, special summon, spell or trap activation mate. Crackdown could steal a monster. Clockwork is turning everything on the field into a fiend, and it's about boosting up our barrier statue. Also with the Necro Valley, you can't move cards out of the grave. Can't summon from the grave, banish from the grave, move cards at all from the grave. Let's go. Well, we have an Abomination Prison searching for our Aruha. Aruha is here. Not big enough to take out the barrier statue, but by crashing Aruha, we summon Shayama. Shayama could then take out the barrier statue as it would be 1500 attack, right? Oh boy. Let's get to it. Set cross out pass. This is not looking good. We're going to slowly beat down with the barrier statue of the Torrent. We're going to cross out Designator to just thin out the deck. We do not want to draw Droll and Lockbird. Get it out of here so we do not draw into it. Shayama in hand is devastation. That is not good. We really need it in the deck to summon it from the deck through, let's say, a trap card activation. But if you have Aruha, it could summon from the hand. From the hand or deck, so that still works actually. Still, no good. Can't summon the fire. The Ash would get reduced by the Clockwork Knight, so it would be destroyed by the attack of the barrier statue. Thus, we're just going to keep it in the hand. Let's see if we can further draw into something. Another Shafara, the Fiend. I'm so sorry that this is happening. Where are your other Unchained monsters? This is unfreaking believable. Poking again for another 1500 damage. What could we top deck? Another finger. Brick, 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 brick. It's all brick. We're going to Shavara, activate a set of trap from the deck, which the Solemn Strike is now going to negate. No trap for you, mate. Now, Shayama cannot activate from the hand. It would only be activatable from the grave. What else do we have here? I would think maybe we would discard the Shayama, right? Discard Shayama, set a card, special summon Shayama was a potential play. But again, the Shayama is going to be reduced to 15 against a 1500 statue. What else do we have here? Normal summon Ash to kill ourselves. Okay, there you go. Wow, Stun is not so good going second. So let's see what Unchained could set up going first. Let's speed on through this. Aruha, pop a trap, special summon. We didn't commit to our normal summon yet. Shayama, pop Aruha, special summon Shavar from the deck. What are we doing here? Gizmek Orochi. Banishing 8 cards off the top of our deck to special summon itself onto the field. Now, the Orochi, during our own turn, is going to have the ability of you could banish 3 cards from your extra deck face down to then target a face-up monster on the field and destroy it. So we wanted to summon that before potentially they would summon a Caesar, which would negate the summon of the Gizmek Orochi. Let's now speed this up. Grab a Sarama, using up our normal summon finally, set from the graveyard, then pop it, Shayama, pop our Sarama, special summon, Sarama trigger summon for the deck, Rikeya, making the Soul of Anguish. Anguish going to link off with the Gizmek Orochi. So now it's not going to have the ability to pop a monster in the field because it can't use the effect of summoning and popping in the same turn. Now this is not looking good because we do not have any board breakers, but we could top deck it through the Pot of Prosperity, which has now been negated by the Ash Blossom. We're going to be chaining the Gizmek Orochi, which this will show the top 6 cards of the deck that we would have added. I think it's in this order, right? Duality, Necro Valley, Solemn Strike, Statue, Statue. That would have not been good enough. We needed Super Poly. We needed evenly matched. Reborning that Gizmek Orochi as the Pot of P is now negated. We're now going to turn it into a Typhon. Typhon could get popped with the escape of Unchained, which is exactly what we're doing. we now can't summon the barrier statue. We can't normal or special summon for the rest of the turn. We do have Solemn Judgment and Crackdown, but the dog in the end phase is going to get popping. Rakea popping itself, which triggers the dog to pop a card in the field, and then during the end phase, pop another card. Beautifully done, taking out the set monster, which could have, I guess, been a Fossil Dyna on flip, destroy all other monsters. Now we just have Solemn Judgment, which will half our life points. Heavy Storm, Solemn Judgment, negate the Heavy Storm. Battle phase, Gizmek Orochi, not enough for lethal damage. We're gonna block the attack, wipe out the Gizmek, 13 cards left in our deck. Popping within the battle phase, taking out our Abominable Chamber to then swing for 2k as we then main phase 2 set up some disruption through the Yama. Some cool plays from Unchained here, setting up the escape through the Shavara being sent to the grave, adding back the Sarama. We can now pop a card on the field. Draw 2 Solemn Strikes through the effect of the Morganite. Only one of them will be activatable, as we're going to Unchained pop it within the end phase. Only 11 cards left in our decks. We're being very careful with our Gizmek Orochi. Sarama, set the escape, pop escape, activate escape, summon from the deck. Also Chainlink block from an Ash Blossom, even though we don't have one. We're going to use Solemn Strike to negate the Yama from reborning from the graveyard. At 500 life, we could still summon our Gizmek Orochi. Come forth, Abominable Unchained, attack for 3k. We're not going to even bother blocking that attack as we now hop into game number 3. Nicely done. Pot of D, banishing 10 cards off the top of the deck into a Droll and Lockbird. Yes, we're going to Droll, even though we couldn't pot a P anyway. Look at that. Limited to 1, Fossil Dyna. We still got it, plus a Super Poly, which is not activatable. So we neither player can special summon. We're going to imperm the Fossil Dyna, so now we're going to have to rely on the Super Poly, which will require 2 of the same attributes in the field to fuse them together. And then with the Necro Valley, you can't banish from the grave, so no Yama effect. You can't Shiyama reborn from the graveyard. No manipulation of the grave whatsoever, as the Fossil Dyna is now negated. Aruha is going to pop Rakea, summon from the deck. You can still activate from the graveyard, summoning a Shiyama. Shiyama pop Aruha to pop a backrow card, non-targeting, taking out the Super Poly, activating Aruha, summoning Abominable Unchained, discard a card, take out the Necro Valley. The floodgates are gone. Fossil Dyna negated. Necro Valley gone and destroyed. Holy moly, let's freaking go. Yama activates, searching for Shavara. Shavara popping the escape. Escape activates, summon for the deck Sarama. Pop Sarama with Shiyama, trigger Sarama, summon from the hand or deck into our Disaster. Make a Soul of Rage, link off of the Fossil Dyna into Unchained Abomination. 7,400 damage, not lethal. That's okay. How will stun come out of this duel, though? Any Solemn Strikes they draw into will be dead. We're going to be popping the Disaster, Reborn back on the field, Rakea. Rakea popping Shavara. Shavara already triggered, so I think that was possibly a mistake. Yeah, that wasn't a play around a Super Poly. We had all different attributes in the field here. Auto P, digging deep, 6 cards deep. Solemn, not so good. Luna may actually be pretty good. Grandma Ju is going to be large and in charge at more than 4,000 attack. Do we start beating down with Grandma Ju? Or Moon Mirror Shield? Luna, as I said, that is a good card to be grabbing. It's going to return the Abomination back to the extra deck. Or we just go into Typhon. Typhon is here. Typhon, spin back to the hand here. We're going to force it to spin back the Rakea as we take out the Abomination. Sure. Rakea to the hand. As the Yama now triggers to reborn from the graveyard because we destroyed our own card into the Soul of Rage. Now, Soul of Rage can link off with that Typhon unless we crack it down, take control of it before it reaches the main phase. Rakea is here. Swing in Suicide into the Anguish. Summon from the deck into a Shiyama. If we had another Abominable Unchained, we had game. In fact, yeah, we have one in the graveyard. We don't play 2. We shouldn't play 2. Shiyama pop itself, take out the Crackdown, give us back our Soul of Rage to then link off with the Typhid to now make our Yama. Unchained's putting up an amazing fight here. The only thing that would have been better would have been if we had lethaled on the previous turn. Come back to me, Abominable Unchained, waiting for a monster on the field to be destroyed. We got Luna. Luna activates Search, getting negated by the Ash. Now let's read the Luna effect. Target a face-up monster your opponent controls. Your opponent must send one card with that name from their deck or extra deck to the graveyard, otherwise return it back to the hand. Oh boy, got Solemn Judgment, which we are going to not... Can you negate this? No, you cannot. It's an activation of an effect to special summon. Solemn Judgment cannot do anything to the Shyama. Lethal damage just like that. Now, if we had a Diablo Star, it could have negated the summon of Diablo Star. If we Link summoned, the Solemn Judgment could negate the Link summon. If we normal summoned, we could have negated the normal summon. And if you normal summon something like an Aruha, it does not activate to summon a monster from the deck because it never reached the field. It has to be destroyed while on the field to activate the summon. So that Shyama was absolutely perfect. 2-1 victory, winning through a Fossil Dyna, Super Poly, and Necro Valley. Begin. All right. King Sark Field Spell, grabbing the I'm Seti from the deck. We're going to be returning a card back after adding the I'm Seti. This is the huge Ash, big Ash on this. You definitely want to Ash the I'm Seti. Do not Ash the Field Spell. Ash I'm Seti, the Field Spell is bait. We're now going to Rhino, send from the deck of Hovness. And the Bystials are coming in hot. Bystial Baldrake banishing the Hovness, completely stopping the fusion summon. Now Sulliek with a Rhino is not that good, so we at least have an I'm Seti, which is also not that good. The Sulliek will be able to permanently negate a monster in the field, but since we have no tier card in our hand, we're not going to be able to trigger a fusion summon. Oh boy. Let's see what we can do here with just one disruption. Motorbike, adding a Wakashi. Wakashi, set up the scale, set up the Benki, special Wakashi, search our deck for the Soul Piercer. Piercer, equip onto the Wakashi, making a Scarecrow. We have not committed to a normal summon yet. Soul Piercer, searching for the Peacemaker, discard Trudea to then get Sulliek negated as we're attempting to special summon Soul Piercer to where the Scarecrow is pointing to. Negate. Peacemaker, equip onto the Scarecrow, tribute off to someone from the deck is Scales. Scales, reborn the Motorbike. Motorbike changing its level to level 4. We already used up that one disruption, so we're now at nothing, nada. As we now make an Excel Synchro Stardust Dragon on summon, reborn from the grave, our Motorbike. For the Shokan into Baron to Floor, pop the I'm Seti, open field here, 5,500 damage. What can we do? Set up Primera, Primera activate. We're scooping it up, mate. I don't think so. Let's hop into game number 2. The Bystial. The Bystial stopping that Hovness. Huge. We were going to mill 10 freaking cards. Stopping milling 10? That's a big problem. Rhinoheart on summon. Veiler, negate. Ain't no way, mate. We have nothing to dodge that. No Call by the Grave. We're also playing a whopping 60-card deck, so even if we had Call by the Graves, we're much less likely to even be drawing into it. King Sark, send from the hand a Fairy Tale Snow to set up an I'm Seti. Send again to then set up a Happy. With Happy and I'm Seti, we are going to be making a Zombie Vampire, which we could Gamma or Ash. Mill 4 cards off of both players' decks? I don't think so. Gamma, negate. Now, we could have Ash negate the Gamma to at least mill, right? Why would we not do that? They would keep the Gamma in the hand. They would be able to activate again later within the turn, but the mill 4 maybe would have been too good to pass up on. We're going to be banishing the I'm Seti, big enough to wipe out the tier Rhino through battle, not by card effect, otherwise it would trigger if there were a tier card in the hand. Off the top of the deck, another copy of Ash Blossom as we're going to negate, but with the finger the Ash. What? Finger the Happy instead. Happy taking the finger, Ash dodging that finger, because we do not want to finger ourselves. We want our own Ash to be activatable without being negated. I'm Seti's gone. Oh my gosh, they just... I'm Seti and Happy are both banished. Soul Piercer is here. On summon, link it off into the Scarecrow. And we're going to be negating. With the Ash Blossom, I do not think so. You will not be searching. Thankfully, you didn't finger my Ash because you would have negated both of my Ashes. 2,500 to the face. Now, the Baldrake is not activatable to banish a monster from the extra deck because the Scarecrow is not a light or dark. We're going to reinforce our hand with nothing as the Ash Blossom negates. Complete open field. We do have Engrave of Fairy Tale Snow, but with only 7 cards in the graveyard, including itself, we have to banish the King Sark on field plus every other card in the grave to summon it. And we didn't do it? What? We just take the loss? Why not summon? Banish King Sark, 6 other cards in the grave, block an attack, and then just top deck into, I don't know. What are you top decking into? If you're dodging the Ball Drake, you top deck into a Rhino. They now have a Ball Drake to banish whatever big follow-up play you'd have with Tearlament. Damn, Bystials are way too good. 2-0 victory. Voiceless pay to lose. That's fair if you think that. Gamma negate the Max C. I don't think so, mate. This is why people wait for there to be a monster on the field. With a body on the field, you could then safely Max C. Well, now for free, we get to link this off into a Sprite Elf, making us protected from any targeting effects. If you were to have a Veiler or Imperm, you now can't use it on that Spirit of Yubel. Let's speed this up. Elf Reborn, Shokan into Apollo, Triple Monster Negate, Untargetable Mate, and one of the big counters to Apollo is an Impermanence. Now we can't Imperm, but the Fallen Albaz is a non-target fuse of the opposing field. So our disruptions here are, we have Soul of Rage link off after reborning with the Sprite Elf into Little Knight banish, into Apollo, that's 6 disruption, escape, pop a card, Ash negate an interaction with the deck, and Phantom of Yubel negate a monster effect. That's 9 disruption, plus a Call by the Grave if you want to count that as 10. You want to count it as 10, let's see what happens. Albaz, the non-target fuse of the opposing field, Apollo, negate. We're also going to chain the Sprite Elf, reborning our Soul of Rage. Now, this is where the Albaz could swing into Apollo if it weren't for the Nightmare Pain, disallowing that interaction. We're going to pre-prep into Ash Negate. Let's go, mate. 8 disruption left. Diviner really wants to be normal summoned, which that's not possible. Okay. Let's go. Tenpai couldn't come soon enough. Oh, boy. Diviner send from the deck. Oh, we got Trias. Sure. Let's speed this up. Pendulum Graph Dragon against Tenpai. They activate the Tenpai field spell. The Pendulum Graph will activate to negate. So when your opponent activates a spell, card, or effect, you get to negate... Wait, it doesn't destroy? Oh my gosh, it doesn't stop the field spell, just this field spell from searching. Huh? That's not that good. Wow. But it does get to summon a Meteor Burst. The Meteor Burst Dragon will make it so the opponent cannot activate Tenpai monsters during the battle phase. So that could still be pretty good. Not so much the spell negate. You know, negate the spell to search. Could it be good though? So we have a spell negate, anything negate, non-target monster banish, and we have pop a card in the field. About 4 disruption. Sarvis could turn into a 5th disruption to negate an inherent special summon. Let's see what happens. 5. Dark Beckoning, triggering the blessing to set up that 5th disruption we've been talking about. This is it. Come forth low. Low to the grave. Low will have to come back on the field so that the Skull Guardian will be able to negate. If you Odd Eyes Pendulum Graph, negate the activation of the Spirit Gates, it will still be on the field. It just doesn't search. So it will still be able to reborn, but there's nothing to reborn. So we're going to non-target monster banish that Dark Beckoning Beast. So what do now? The D-Lotus can't additionally be summoned. The D-Lotus can't be discarded to be reborn because there's nothing in the graveyard that could be reborned. So we're super screwed, yes? Normal summon used, nothing in the grave. We're going to summon our Phantom of Yubel, which the Sarvis will negate. Negate and banish. You are never on the field. Goodbye. 3 disruption left. Let's summon a second and final copy of our Phantom of Yubel. Burn. We're going to use the Radiance to get popping. Pop 2 cards on the field. We have 2 more disrupts left. Nightmare Pain, negate the effects, not the activation. With our Pendulum Graph Dragon, we have not used our Skull Guardian negate yet. That is wild. Everything but our Omni negate has been used. Let's hop into game 3. Nightmare Throne holding the Ash. Are we using the Imperm on a D-Lotus? We're going to hold the Imperm. We're going to Ash negate that D-Lotus. Now, we're in big trouble. What do we do? Can't special summon Squirmer. We already used up our normal summon. We're going to set and pass. Didn't even have to use our Impermanence. Beautifully done. We're going to Saphira, search for nothing as the Ash negates. We could Barrier. Again, search our deck. Let's see what we can do off of that. The Super Poly's waiting for there to be 2 light monsters on the field. We're going to search for a Skull Guardian, set 3 pass. Oh boy, if we had any other monster that was at least level 7 or higher, we could have used the Saphira Engrave to banish to then Ritual Summon, search for low, normal summon low, set up our Omni negate. It would have been great. Let's go. Double Imperm is our only form of disruption. The Radiance is not activatable. Wait, is it? The Radiance can shuffle a ritual monster from your hand, so we could shuffle back the Skull Guardian to then summon the Sarvis non-ritual. Imperm, negate not only the Dark Beckoning Beast, but also negate the Super Poly. We're going to chain Radiance, return Skull Guardian, yes, to then set up another form of disruption. That's exactly what we're doing. Come forth, Sarvis. All right, Grave Squirmer cannot pop it on summon, so it is in fact negated. We're now going to link this up into a Yama. I think we really wanted to negate that Yama, but we couldn't. It's going to chain Sarvis to set up our second form of disruption as we Imperm negate the Yama. Negate the Yama as we set up our negate of an inherent special summon. At 2800 defense, we can't easily just battle right over it. Squirmer, this cannot be negated. As we reborn the D-Lotus, this cannot be negated by the Sarvis. Activate the Spirit of Yubel, setting up our Nightmare Pain. The Sarvis can negate a Phantom of Yubel summon or a Link summon. Gia, what's going on? Triggering the Nightmare Throne to summon from the deck as the Spirit of Yubel also activates the summon from the deck. Cannot be negated by Sarvis. All of these summons cannot be negated. We're going to Spirit Gates, discard D-Lotus, reborn. Now, what's the rule of Yubel? 2700 is lethal damage with Nightmare Pain and 3 Yubels. 28, 3 Yubels, mate. Had we summoned Sarvis in attack position against 3 Yubels is not game at 8,000 life. So summoning the Sarvis in D, I think that's a mistake, because now it's game. Otherwise, it would have not been game. Lethal damage. Gotta remember the thresholds. 2,700. That's the big number. 3 Yubel, 27. You're done. 2-1 victory. Let's go. Wanted Seeker grabbing the Diablo Star Black Witch within the draw phase to play around a Droll in Lockbird. As we now whip out that Diablo Star, activating to set up into the back row our original Sinful. Now, let's talk about these disruptions. Triple monster negates, Ash, back row, back row, back row. We have about 7 disruptions to deal with. Hydrant is going to be negated. We have a mirror match on our hands here. Negate the search. We're now down to 6 disruptions. We're going to link this up into a relinquished Anima. Anima attempting to give Apollo USA that good suck. She is going to, of course, negate. I don't think so. We're now down to 800 attack, 5 more disruptions. We're going to use our Rescue Ace HQ, additionally summoning our Hydrant as we now make a Dark. Dark wants to steal the Diablo Star. Do we allow it? No, we do not. We're going to Extinguish, which does not negate, but by extinguishing the Dark, you can't summon a monster where it's pointing to, so it's essentially a negate. We're going to Finger Little Knight? That was unnecessary. Okay, well, let's hop on to game 2. Now we have YYY going first against Impulse and Fire Engine. And from here, you have to understand in today's event, Poplar is limited to 1. So we hard open the Poplar and then we draw into something like, let's say, a Bonfire. It's not going to be working out as well because we want to Bonfire the Poplar to hand. And this was a big question on whether people would still play Poplar or not. Even with the Poplar not limited to 1, some people were still playing it at 1. They're just now forced to play it that way. So we have our 3 disruptions here as we do not have a Promethean Engrave. Can we play through triple disrupt? Nibiru late to the party, so we're going to get that trash out of here. Come forth, Diablo Star. Diablo Star activating to set up our original Sinful. No disruptions yet, and we're waiting for that monster effect. We're going to reborn the Preventer. Preventer, flip down Diablo Star. And now we can triple Tactics Talent, take control of the Access Code Talker, which could banish itself to pop a card in the field non-targeting. Yes, indeed. Or we take Preventer. We took Preventer. We're going to send Preventer to the graveyard to summon from the deck our Hydrant. We're going to use Emergency to summon from the deck our Fire Engine, to then use Extinguish to extinguish the Hydrant. We're going to now have left just a Contain as we use Emergency in response to the Extinguish to send Hydrant to summon a Hydrant. And with our newly summoned Hydrant, that will trigger the Fire Engine to reborn our own Hydrant from the grave, as we then use our final Disruption to contain the Hydrant, not only negating it, but cannot be used for the extra deck to summon anything. Damn. Nicely done from both players. Let's hop into game 3. Summon the Airlifter into our Emergency. We're going to follow up with the Wanted Seeker, grabbing ourselves a Diablo Star here. Now, a good question here could be, why didn't we make a Little Knight? Well, there's 2 reasons why. One, we have an Emergency to help play through a disruption like Imperm or a Veiler, which we can't even use the Imperm because our field is blocked, but Veiler, so the Emergency was going to help with that. Also, if we see the opponent's field never really lighting up here, you could possibly deduce likely that they have no other hand traps, but again, they could be really good at hiding those hand traps, so it's not foolproof, it's not perfect, but we do have Emergency where we do not need the Little Knight. As we make a Hida instead, Hydrant allowing the activation of Alert the turn it's set, grabbing a Preventer, Hida steal from the opponent's graveyard, and Impulse as we make a Celine Navidad. Celine, reborn from our graveyard, our Diablo Star, to make an Access Code Talker to clean up this field. We're going to be banishing Celine. Goodbye to both of your monsters as we also banish the Hida. Now we're going to Link Rebo, tribute off the Hydrant to summon from the graveyard, Preventer, banish the Hydrant to come forth and summon. 4 Material Apollo USA, Preventer, reborn the Hydrant back on the field as we randomly draw possibly a hand trap here with the Wanted Seeker. Bonfire, no good. So what are our disruptions? We could flip face down, we could negate a monster, we could pop a monster, and we could negate 4 additional times on top of that. So that's 7 disruptions versus a 5-card hand. Do the math. If you just say yes to everything they do, you should just win. You don't even have to think about it. Hard open Poplar, Contain, negate, can't be used with the extra deck. You are negated, you also cannot attack. 6 disruptions left. What now? We're going to Turbulence, banish from the graveyard, which the Apollo can negate. We are not negating. Okay. Let it get summoned. Trigger the Fire Engine. Reborn the Airlifter. Airlifter searching our deck for a follow-up play with the Rescue Ace HQ. We're going to Emergency, summon from the deck a Preventer. Preventer can now flip the Turbulence face down. Thus, we're now down to 5 more disruptions. We're going to chain Impulse from the hand to summon from the deck nothing as the Apollo negates. So we're now down to 4 disruptions left as we're going to add an Emergency on top of that. We're going to use Extinguish. By extinguishing the Turbulence while we control a Hydrant, any further summoned Turbulence for the rest of this turn cannot be activated. We could reborn it with Promethean. We could summon another Turbulence on the deck. It is not activatable. Thus, we now have 3 disruptions left. 3 more Apollos. Summon a Preventer. Sun Preventer. Send Preventer. Impulse negated. Preventer will trigger to reborn a banished monster. We're going to Apollo, negate the Preventer, now down to double disruption. 2 more Apollo negates. That's it. We are completely out of juice with 2 more Apollos to negate. Damn, 2-1 victory. Let's get to it. Let's go. Reinforcement of the army. We're going to chain Maxi to the reinforce. We're going to Ash negate that Maxi mate. I don't think so. We can now follow up with the Droll. Droll on the addition of that Airlifter. Airlifter under Droll is no good because Airlifter tries to add an emergency from the deck to our hand. We're going to summon Airlifter, trigger the Fire Engine is summoned from the hand, come forth Little Knight, and we now get to still make our full Wombo combo into Turbulence. Now, what really sucks about Rescue Ace is it hard loses to Evenly Matched. Yubel does not hard lose to Evenly Match. So if Rescue Ace rises in prevalence, then so will the Evenly Matched to hard counter it. Because they're not making Terahertz to send Disable Worm to negate it. They are big time screwed. Evenly Matched at the end of the battle phase, the Little Knight will help insulate you a little bit from the Evenly Matched, giving you a follow-up with the Turbulence. Emergency, so we could summon a monster, then send the monster, which could summon the Turbulence back in the field if we'd like. Possibly. Banishing everything but the Contain, Preventer, Reborn back in the field, the Airlifter. And just like that, we are still able to disrupt through the Contain. Contain the D-Lotus. It is still usable to summon an Almirage because we do not have a Hydrant on the field. Set Super Poly, pass, and that worked out actually incredibly well. Evenly Match, even afterwards, still having at least 1 disruption. Good job to Mickey Boy. As we now make a Nightmare Phoenix on summon, discard a card, force the activation of the Super Poly, fusing the Nightmare Phoenix and the Almirage to make, come forth and summon from the deck, our Moodragon. Moodragon bigger than the Little Knight. It is also completely untargetable. We have Poplar randomly being drawn into through the effect of the Phoenix, by the way. What the heck was that? Linkuriboh is here, triggering Poplar to equip into the back row our Preventer. By sending Preventer from the back row, that triggers the Preventer to summon a Banished Rescue Ace back on the field. Hydrant searching our deck for another Preventer, further linking this up into a Promethean Princess, and even through an Evenly Matched, we're still winning. Absolutely insane for Rescue Ace to win through an Evenly Match. Having just that 1 disruption afterward, it's great. So there you go. If you get Evenly Matched, keep your Contain, chain Emergency, summon Preventer, send Preventer. Preventer will trigger on a separate chain after the Evenly resolves. Get your Rescue Ace plus your back row Contain. You have that at least 1 time negate. Spirit Gates into the Dark Beckoning Beast, as we are going to be searching for our Chaos Summoning Beast. Yes, indeed. As we Lord of Yama, we're at 3 summons for that Nibiru. We also have Change of freaking Heart in our main deck. Newly unlimited in today's event, so Mickey Boy can in fact be playing 3. As we now make our Soul of Rage 5th summon, we're going to be tributing off that Soul of Rage now. Maxi against Nibiru is draw 2. Summon the Nibiru, then the token. Give me that pot of freaking greed. Let's see, we got Nightmare Pain and another Gamma. Gamma no good. So what is this field? It's trash. This is not good whatsoever. The escape would be activatable only if one of our cards in the field get destroyed. They have to get destroyed to trigger the Yama to Reborn and Unchained to then make the escape activatable to then pop 1 card, or we could link off with the Soul of Rage after something gets destroyed. Now, all this is public information. We know there's an escape. We know the Yama's in the graveyard, so we could just play around it. Let's see. Bonfire, the token is blocking the Gamma from even being activatable. Poplar trigger. Poplar is limited to 1, can only have 1 copy in the deck. Otherwise, with Bonfire, it's no good if you hard opened up your Poplar. Making our Linkuriboh. Triggering the Poplar to equip a Poplar into the back, or we're going to Original Sinful, send Poplar, summon from the deck a Hydrant. Hydrant activates, search our deck for the Airlifter. Airlifter, using up our normal summon, grabbing an alert. Alert while you control Hydrant, can search the deck for a Turbulence. We're going to be linking off with the entire field into a super fat Apollo USA, which because she negates in the damage step against Yama, or I should say because she negates the activation, that's why she can negate in the damage step, as you could read here, negate the activation. So we could buy battle, destroy the token, and then at the end of the damage step, the Yama activates to banish, Apollo negate. Let's banish from the graveyard to come forth and summon Turbulence from our hand. Turbulence setting up to 4 cards from the deck, only activatable, one of them if we control a Hydrant, which we do not. We're gonna Change of Heart, take that token. Oh, perfect 8,000. Well, the Apollo will negate the Nibiru. The Gamma will negate the negating the negate, and then we're going to get screwed by the Ash, but then we can negate the Ash with the... This is wild. Okay, let's talk about this again. Nibiru, negated by Apollo. Gamma, negate the negates. Ash, negate the negating the negate. Then Gamma negates the negating the negate the negate. But then the negate onto the Apollo will not negate the Nibiru, because in order to negate, we have to summon a driver, which this Gamma is negating the Ash. So this one does not negate the Apollo. Is that what's going to happen? Let's see. Negate. Gamma, negate. Ash, negate. Gamma, negate. It's all happening. It's happening. So this Gamma is not going to negate. Negate the Ash. So this Gamma's now not negated, but it has no driver to summon. So it does not even negate the Apollo. So the Nibiru does in fact get negated. Woo! You understand that? Let's read this. You could special summon both this card from your hand and a driver. If you do, negate the activation. So this Gamma did not meet the if you do summon the driver, because we didn't, because this one driver was summoned off of this Gamma. Had we played a second copy of the driver, this would have happened. It would have, if you do summon driver, and would have negated the Apollo. All right, damn. Nightmare Phoenix, and it's also co-linked, which means you could Ash it to negate the pop, but pop and draw come to me, triggering the Yama as the Apollo negates. Sure. Play 2 bricks? Yes, of course. You got to play 2 driver. And now that that driver's banished, this Gamma is super dead. We're going to Spirit Gates, grab the Dark Beckoning from our deck as we, on the resolution, use the Maxi to taunt the in-hand Gamma that we know is there. It is public knowledge. Make Almirage, Spirit Gates, discard our dead Gamma, reborn our Dark Beckoning Beast, which with the Nightmare Throne, we can search for a D-Lotus, then additional summon the D-Lotus while the Dark Beckoning's on the field. But I have a feeling we're going to stop that by extinguishing the Dark Beckoning Beast. Thus now, as Mickey Boy is rightfully assuming that there's a D-Lotus in the hand that they want to additional summon, so we prioritize wipe out that Dark Beckoning Beast. So at no normal summon, what can we do? We are going to pop the Spirit of Yubel as the Apollo USA negates the Spirit from summoning a Yubel from the deck, but we can now use that Spirit of Yubel, returning it back in the deck to summon a Phantom of Yubel to negate a monster effect as we follow up with the Nightmare Pain. The Preventer is going to flip down the Phantom of Yubel, and what is Nightmare Pain activating to do? To destroy a dark monster in your hand or face up on the field. Nibiru is light, so Nightmare Pain would resolve with no effect, as we would have no dark monster to destroy to search our deck for the D-Lotus and then discard with the Spirit Gates, which you can't even do because we already did that effect. We're just super screwed. Dodge the Preventer, negate the negate, mate. Nothing to destroy. Trust me, bro, I have no dark in my hand, even though you have to destroy a dark. To battle phase we go, swing in with the Almirage. And what now? Oh boy, we should change a heart that. Yes, indeed. Your Almirage is now mine. Let's link this up into access code TalkerBah. Boost up to 6,000 plus attack, 6,300. Damn. 2-0 victory Let's go. Wakashi is our main one-card play. We're going to be activating Benki to search for the Soul Piercer. We're not using Ash on that. We're going to hold on to our Ash as the Soul Piercer equips onto the Wakashi to then link into a Scarecrow. We have not committed to our normal summon yet. Triggering the Soul Piercer to search our deck for a Motorbike. Motorbike's going to be discarding itself to search our deck for a Peacemaker. Now, with the Scarecrow on field discarding Driver to reborn our Soul Piercer, we're going to use the Peacemaker to equip onto the Scarecrow. Now, this is the absolute most ideal use of your Ash Blossom to negate a Peacemaker, tributing off the Scarecrow to summon a Scales, which will then reborn a monster from the grave. The problem with holding on to your Ash Blossom for this perfect play to negate is sometimes they have a Baron to floor to negate it. So if you wait, which this is the case where we waited, it paid off. This worked out incredibly well. I don't know why we don't have a Baron to floor in the field, but we're going with it. Ash, negate, let's go, mate, negate. It's pretty much against Super Heavy Samurai Pure, where they will be more likely to have a Baron to floor to negate that Ash. So you do get punished for holding it. And after that, even through an Ash, we have double disruption. We're going to have an Omni negate anything plus banish a monster. We also have a Bestial, which can, Bestial against Unchained, it can be decent actually. Fiendish Rhino. We're going to set our trap, pop it with Shavara, trigger the trap to summon from the deck. We're going to chain Trudea to help play around something like a Maxi. We don't want to summon both the Primera and Trudea on the same chain. Summoning an Abominable Unchained to discard a card to non-target, pop a card on the field. Now, the field spell cannot be destroyed by card effects while we control a Centurion monster card. And Auxilla states, face up, only face up cards in the back row cannot be destroyed by card effects. So, the face down Phalanx is in trouble. Or, destroying Trudea is in trouble. If we destroy Trudea, we stop them from summoning the Cosmic Blazar Dragon, which will be able to negate anything. We actually could stop this now from being summoned because they waited too long on trying to get this to go through. We're going to chain the Primera. Come forth and summon. We have to pop Primera or the Trudea. We popped the Primera as we should have. Very well done. Shokan into the Lord of Yama. Lord of Yama is going to trigger Chainlink Block with the Shavara. As the Phalanx banishes the Yama off the field but does not negate it, it will be coming back during the next standby phase, and it's considered a special summon. It being a special summon, it will trigger on special summon during the next turn to add from the deck or graveyard to our hand an Unchained card. We're going to Aruha, pop the Escape, summon for the deck a Shayama. We have now committed to our normal summon, popping the Rhino with the effect of the Shayama. Rhino, send from the deck a Tour Guide. Sure. As we now make a Muckraker with our only body left on field, we're going to be discarding our Crossout Designator to reborn our Unchained Soul of Disaster, which will then be used to link off with an opponent's card. And just like that, the Bestial comes in clutch. Bestial Magnahud banishing Disaster from the grave. We still have to discard the Crossout Designate, and we're now left with nothing. Absolutely nothing left with but just a Muckraker on the field being forced to surrender. Now Unchained gets to go first. Set a trap, pop it with Aruha, trigger the trap, summon from the deck a Shayama. Normal summon Sarama, we could have Nibiru'd before it activates. This is only an open game state activatable effect. It's not a trigger on summon, so we could have wiped this up before it activated. We're waiting on Nibiru. We're going to set the Escape, pop the Chamber, activate, summon from the deck a Disaster. We're going to Shayama, pop Disaster, which will trigger Disaster to reborn a monster from the graveyard. And right now is when we could summon a Caesar. The Caesar is a double special summon negate. It negates Nibiru. So we have to Nibiru now, and we will. The big question is, will Crossout Designate negate? Here we go, Nibiru. Oh my gosh. No Nibiru in your deck to negate with the Crossout Designate. Damn. Yeah, we ended on 0 disruption besides an Ash Blossom in our hand. Now, if one of our cards on the field get destroyed, that will trigger the Yama Engrave to Reborn and Unchained, then we'll have more disruption from there. Stand up Centurion, discard a card, set up into the back row, Primera, special summon from the back row, activate to search, Ash negates. And now we are solely dependent on our opponent destroying one of our cards. We're begging, pleading, please. Now we have a 7,500 attack token. That's quite large. We can just go into beatdown mode, Tour Guide up the top of the deck. That is incredible. Special summon Aruha. We're going to use the Phalanx to banish the Tour Guide. We're going to chain the escape to pop Aruha and another card in the field, taking out that set bluffed Synchro Rumble. Triggering Aruha to summon from the deck, triggering Yama to Reborn from the graveyard, and this is looking incredible for Unchained. Unchained should be performing lethal damage this turn. Sarama and Shayama from the deck and or grave. Sarama set the trap, pop the trap, summon from the deck Abominable Unchained. Everything in attack position. We have 14,000 damage on the field thanks to that 7,500 attack, Primal Being token, and just like that, Shayama attacks for game. Unchained Pure was the #1 best deck in the TCG until... Was it until it got hit by the ban list? Or I think it was until Diablo Star came out. Until Full Power Rescue Ace came out, it was the #1 best deck. And then Shayama got limited to 1. Shavaro, that is. Shavaro got limited to 1, and then it was no longer the top 2 and or best deck. We're going second, but we have evenly matched. But Blazar Dragon or Baron de Flor will be the main 2 cards that negate that evenly matched. So are we screwed because that's pretty much our only card to answer whatever this field will be? Will this even be a field? Scales and Peacemaker? Let's see what we could do. Scales equip Peacemaker to then special summon from the deck, summoning our Piercer into the Scarecrow. Trigger the Piercer, searching for a Motorbike. Motorbike, discard itself to search our deck for the Wakashi. Activate Wakashi. Wakashi, play a Benki special Wakashi. Discard the Gamma, Reborn the Soul Piercer, as we then set up our Baron de Flor, which will negate that evenly matched. Set up Wakashi into the back row, Reborn the Motorbike, and we got that Baron de Flor. Special summon Wakashi, pop the Scarecrow, set and end. Oh my gosh, that's all we have for disruption. Our Baron de Flor that's going to be tied up at the evenly match. So the big question is, do we evenly, or do we try to perform lethal damage this turn? Can we perform lethal? Or, I don't know. This will be interesting. We probably will just go to main phase 2. There is also a Call by the Grave, which will be fingering one of our Unchained cards. And there's that dreaded Nibiru, which ate up our turn play during the second duel, but then we still won. We're going for that evenly. Of course we are. Eat up the Baron de Flor negate, then make all our plays within main phase 2. Call by the Grave and Nibiru are coming in hot. So can we play through it? We're going to Abomination Prison, try to eat some Ash. There's no Ash. We're going to normal summon that Tour Guide into Rhino, Shokan into the Yama. Right now we could finger the Rhino or save it for the Shavara, possibly. We're not fingering the Rhino. Rhino sending from the deck of Shavara. Yama's adding from the deck an Aruha. We need that set trap to pop it with the Aruha. We already used up our normal summon, so I think we're gonna have to set the call by to then pop with Aruha. This is devastating, fingering our Shavara. We're at 3 summons under that Nibiru. All right, set called by, pop with Aruha, exactly what I said. Aruha and the Yama making a Soul of Anguish. We're now on 5 summons, attempting to link off of the Baron de Flor or Wakashi. When do we Baron de Flor? Now, right? Now. Let's get to it. Let's do it. Tribute off the field. And how large will this token be? It is a massive token. 3,900 defense, 6,400 attack. Now, if we waited for the Link summon, the defense would have been massively reduced because Baron de Flor's 2,400 defense minus 2,400 off of the token's defense, and that's whatever the token would be had we waited for the Link summon itself. Is there any Link summon that could have stopped the Nibiru here? No. So what do? What happened? Why didn't we wait? We're going to Pendulum summon the driver and Wakashi to make a Chaos Angel. Chaos Angel on summon's going to banish that token off the field. To battle we go. Now, what is the situation here with the Nibiru and Chaos Angel? The Chaos Angel was summoned with a light and a dark, so none of our monsters can be destroyed by battle, and our synchro monsters are completely unaffected by activated effects by the opponent. How do you deal with the Chaos Angel? What's the out? Do we play Goddess? I'm not going to check the extra deck, but Goddess would be one of the main outs. Abomination Prison off the top of the deck. We're going to normal summon Sarama to set the Aruha from the graveyard to then pop the Aruha, trigger Aruha and the Yama from grave to come forth and get summoning. Summon from the deck, summon from the grave. Let's get to it. We have Shiyama and the Soul of Anguish. Shiyama pops Sarama to pop a back row card, taking out the Wakashi. Sarama triggering to summon a Shavara. Soul of Anguish linking off with the Nibiru to make our Soul of Rage. Now we are going to be going into a High King Caesar. These aren't outs to the Chaos Angel at the moment, as we have the out right there. The escape of the Unchained can destroy the unaffected by monster effects Chaos Angel. At the start of the battle phase, we're going to wipe out the Chaos Angel, taking out our Soul of Rage, triggering the Soul of Rage to add back from the graveyard our Sarama, as we have a Wave King Caesar with a double special summon negate. Can't negate a Pendulum summon. It's an inherent special summon here. That's it. Summon Wakashi and pass at 1500 life. It's looking like Unchained will be advancing to the grand finale. Sarama, one of the best follow-up plays within the deck. Set a trap, pop the trap, summon Abominable Unchained, discard a card on summon, pop a card on the field. We have 7,300 damage, pop with Shavar to come forth and summon. We now have 78. Sarama summon for the deck, and just like that, 9,300 damage, 4 game, going second, winning the duel. Unchained Pure with the new ban list advancing to the grand finale. Kieran got semi-limited. Poplar got limited to 1. Where are the Snake Eye players? They all ran off. Top 2, grand finale. We have unfreaking chained, pure Unchained. You look at this hand, you may be thinking, ew, is this Yubel? Nope, not Yubel. Let's go. Huh? That was bad. That was really bad. What the hell? We have passed with no play. We have Imperm and Droll Lockbird though. We're going to be special summoning Turbulence. Now, Turbulence does not search to be turned off by a Droll. We're going to rescue our Turbulence back onto the field. We could Imperm it, though. 3K to the face. Smack him good. Activate main phase 2. Set up 4 back row cards. I don't think so. Negate. No 4 back row set for you. Sure. Set Imperm. So we have Imperm and Max C. Let's see what we can do. Ooh. What the heck, Unchained? You got to the grand finale for this? Huh? Another 3K. Can we stop another Turbulence activation? I mean, Nicky Boy's got to be going out of his mind thinking, how do you have no plays? How are you so bricked you can't even stop a Turbulence? Something is going on. Something's fishy. Oh my God. You can't even ash a Turbulence. Cross out designate. Maxi is now negated as we normal summon Droll. I'll allow it. That is fine. You're not allowed to surrender in the grand finale. That was a legal surrender. Yep, you legally surrendered. Set our escape, pop it with the Shavara, trigger the escape, summon from the deck into a Shiyama. As we now link this up into a Yama, we have not used up our normal summon yet. Yama going to search our deck as the Shavara triggers to set a trap from the deck. What are we grabbing here? As we set up our chamber, we do have to take note of that Nibiru, counting up the summons. Grabbing an Aruha, which again will not take up our normal summon, to pop the chamber, trigger the chamber, summon from the deck into our 5th summon. We could have Nibiru'd right here, right now, but we did not. Sarama's going to set from the grave the escape, pop in the Aruha, trigger the Aruha, summon from the deck, our Rakea. Now the Shiyama is going to pop the Sarama, summoning from the graveyard, triggering Sarama, summon from the deck, and this is when you have to Nibiru. This is going to summon the Wave King Caesar, a rank 6 Xyz, which will double special summon negate that Nibiru. And it's happening. Yep. How big is the Nibiru token, though? That token is fat. We normal summoned Droll and ended? Huh. Yeah, we did. Did we? Oh, okay. I think we tried to make a Little Knight with the token, and then we were like, damn, that Little Knight requires 2 effect monsters. So if you're ever wondering why people are playing a random Link Spider, it's because of being able to summon a card like Little Knight by turning the non-effect token into an effect monster, which is the Link Spider. Now, we are bonfiring the limited 1 Poplar. Yeah, got limited 1. It's still in the deck. We added it with the bonfire, and let's get popping off. Relinquished Anima. Anima can't suck up the Droll because it wasn't special summoned. Wait, it was? Wait, it's not you? I thought this was special summon only. It's any monster it points to. Okay, yeah. Why was I thinking special summon? Generally, it's going to be a special summon monster. Target, yeah, any monster gets sucking. Anima be sucking. Wow, imagine putting the Droll in the suck zone and it gets sucked. Now we're going to alert, add from the deck because we have a Hydrant. We gain the additional ability as we then link this off into a Dark. Dark is going to activate stealing the Yama, which is a big deal. Well, now it's not a big deal because it's now back in the graveyard as we then make a Promethean Princess. We're waiting on the Imperm. When are we Imperming? Not the Promethean. We're now making a Raging Phoenix. With the Raging Phoenix, we're now making a Zealantis. Zealantis banishes the token. The token comes back as nothing. So because of that, we're going to Imperm, negate that Zealantis. I don't think so. The token stays at 4,500 defense. How are you going to out it? Well, we're going to follow up with Turbulence, banish in the graveyard, come forth and summon. As we now have the ability to set up to 4 cards from the deck into our back row, we have Contain to negate Emergency to summon from the deck, Rescue to Reborn from the grave. As we now link this up into a Nightmare Phoenix, which will be able to on summon, discard, pop, and then draw a card, but we do not want to pop the Escape. We want to battle phase, call to the grave, finger the Yama so it does not trigger after we are about to be destroying. Because if we destroy and it triggers, wait, we didn't want to destroy? What happened here? Battle phase, finger Yama. Oh, we're negated, right? We're negated. We can't destroy. 4,500 token. We're going to main phase 2. Not Little Knight banished because it wasn't summoned with an extra deck monster. Sure. Bro, Little Knight into Little Knight? Yeah, he used a Little Knight to summon a Little Knight in the same turn. I don't think I've ever seen that. Little Knight on summon, banishing the Escape from the back row. Can extinguish a Primal Being 4,500 defense token at 7,500 attack. Let's read the extinguish. Target an effect monster. Boy, how are we dealing with that token? Well, in the battle phase, the Zealantis will be able to pop it. Actually will not because we're not co-linked. So we have no pop with the Zealantis. We can't destroy with the extinguish. Let's go. To battle we go, taking out the Zealantis. Ain't no way. Now we're going to end phase emergency. Can Preventer flip a token face down? No. Can't flip it down. Can't destroy with extinguish. How do we deal with the token? We're gonna rescue our airlifter from the graveyard. You created this problem yourself. You gave him the Nibiru token. Now, very easily with an access code talker, we're gonna be able to do it. There you go, access code talker in the extra monster deck right there. We're gonna return 4 cards that are banished and or in the graveyard back in the deck to draw 1. As we now Hydrant, search our deck for a Preventer. Is this it? As we make the dreaded access code talker, but by destroying the token, you will trigger the Yama. But Yama's gotta be in the grave. Do we have another Yama in the grave? No, we do not. Goodbye to the token. As we now chain Max C in response to the Preventer activating from the hand to summon itself onto the field. Now we're at 7,300, but boost up to over 10,000 damage for game, which unfortunately Unchained bricked game freaking 1. And got Nibiru game 2. Damn. Yup, that's what happens. If you have the right hand, Unchained could play around Nibiru by holding on to your Shayama effect in grave, Ideally, you're forcing out their Nibiru, and then you Shayama afterwards. Shayama afterward then triggers the Yama from the graveyard to Reborn from the grave. But if you Shayama before the Nibiru, then you get Nibiru'd. That's how you get clapped. Got the Meta Weekly results. 171 players in today's event. That is a lot of mad lads. Yubel being the #1 deck. This is the first time post-ban list. So post-ban list, the Poplar went to 1, and the Kieran went to 2. So Snake Eye Fire King, I guess, did not do as well. Snake Eye didn't like that. The Poplar is now a Garnet. You hard draw it. A lot of your plays get restricted now. Yubel, I said this in my ban list video. They barely hit the deck by putting all the Yubel cards at 2. That didn't do anything. Had they put the Spear Gates to 1, that would have been an even bigger hit that I think they needed to do. Centurion did really well. Rescue Ace, even with Poplar at 1, a lot of them were already playing it at 1. Ancient Gear, also known as Tempai, pre-Tempai release. There you go. Purely Math Mech. Let's see the deck list here. Starting off with the Snake Eye deck. 40 cards with Snake Eye. Abo Mod. Wait, aren't you a branded player, bro? What the heck is this? Abo Mod with Sky Striker, Go Second, Snake Eye. Interesting deck. Okay, I respect it. Go Second Snake Eye. And then we have Math Mech, Gaze. Very well done. We got the Terahertz down there. Otherwise, here we go. Zoomed out a little bit. Good job, Gaze. 40 cards clean. We got the Meow Mine. And then we have Ancient Gear. The last time you'll ever see this deck. It's over. It's over for Ancient Gear. Oh my gosh. You had the best 1 month ever. So shout out to all the Ancient Gear Chads. I appreciate you all very much for whipping out this deck. Hopefully enough of you stick around. And isn't this card really good against Tempai, right? Am I coping? Summon the Chaos Ancient Gear Giant, and maybe you'll get clapping, right? There you go. Their board breakers can't break this, and they can't activate their effects during the battle phase. That's pretty damn cool, right? Let's go. Whip this out. What else do we have here? Purely Red. The super compact Purely deck looking super nice. Good job. And then we have Snake Eye Fire King with semi-limited Kieran, but we're still playing 45 cards. Asim, good job to you. We got the Zombie Vampire up in here. Looking good. What else do we have? We have Voiceless Voice, which this is your final chance to go into this deck because it's falling off of the selection pack shop. I'm not trying to tell you to get it. This is with Jowgen being banned, and we're still playing Anaconda into Mirror Jade. So good job, Rentos. Nicely done. What else do we have here? Stun. This is post-banless Stun. Fossil Dyna limited to 1. Does not care. Jowgen banned. Still doesn't care. 2-pack Yu-Gi-Oh! Good job. 43 cards. There is the deck and extra deck. What else do we have? Tier Lament. The field spell got banned, and we're still playing 60-card tier. We're still playing Trivikarma. We're still playing the Rainbow Bridge of Salvation. That is wild. We got the Kashtira field spell and the Horus field spell to instead be searching for, which are both very good field spells. And then we have the extra deck here. Nicely done. So, you know, maybe we're not playing triple Trivikarma, but we're still playing the Trivikarma. Trivikarma is still going to be good. And then, of course, the Rainbow Bridge can grab the Horus field spell. What else do we have? We have Unchained, second place. Beautifully done. Main deck and heavy store. Pop your own trap cards. 1 evenly match with our triple tactics thrust. Thrust into a heavy storm. Thrust into a prison. Thrust into talent, or thrust into the evenly match. Good job, the Fiend. And what else we have here? We have Centurion. 2 Centurion. This is Super Heavy Samurai Centurion. Nice, looking good. We got Little Knights sneaking on the end there. Good job, Peated Rocks. Alrighty, there you go. With Super Heavy Sam, I do want to play something like this. 40 cards clean. That is quite interesting. And also being able to fit in all of these Bestials. What are you missing? How do you fit all this engine? And what else we have here? The other Centurion deck. We have Light Breeze with a more pure version of Centurion. Bestial Lubellion regained with Pure Centurions. Nicely done. Unlimited Jerusalem, but still playing just one. And now, you have Rescue Ace, the #1 player of today's event. Triple Change of Heart. This just got unlimited. And the Mad Lad is main decking it in a non-turn 2 deck. I can't freaking believe it. Nicely done. 48 cards. You would think, I don't know, play 45 without the Change of Heart? Nope. Nicky Boy going to 48 with Change of Heart. That is crazy. And then here is the extra deck. Does everyone need to be considering this card or something? Is this something I don't know about how powerful this is? You're playing a 40 card deck, just go to 43, add 3 Change of Hearts. Weiss with the 40 card Rescue Ace. Super clean, looking good. Can still fit the Gamma, Ash, Called By, even within 40 cards. Also having room for the engine, even 2 impulses within 40 cards. That is wild. You're fitting a lot in here because you're not playing Imperm. No Imperm, as we have Imperm in Nicky Boy's deck list. And then we have Yubel, Dan Crusoe, 44 cards. We did get semi-limited on our Beast and our Spirit Gates and our Phantom of Yubel. Did not care. We do not care. Real Lesco, main deck in Mature Chronicle. Nice, good job to that. Super Poly, which should help you win the mirror match, theoretically. And then Slash Rude, 42 card Yubel mates. Now, remember this tournament because it is the last tournament before Tenpai. So are we going to have fond memories of this? Are we going to be nostalgic of this? Is this actually better than pre-Tenpai? Are we all going to say, remember before Tenpai? I remember. Do you remember? Or is Tenpai actually going to just make the game a lot more fun and more interesting? I have no idea. I don't know if I should be worried. I do have a little bit of some underlying anxiety about this Tenpai release. It's so much more different than just a tier 0 deck coming out. Like, it's a go second deck that's so massively powerful. It's going to shake up and change everything as it's been doing in the TCG and OCG. Tenpai top 2 deck for how long? 6 months? Top 2 in the TCG? How about in the OCG in the last 6 months? #1 deck in the OCG for the past 6 freaking months? How could a go second deck be the best? That's absurd. That's crazy. So there you go. I'll see you all on the tournament happening on this Thursday. New pack day, 1K tournament qualifier. Tenpai Dragons coming. I'm ready. You're ready. Let's get to it. Thank you very much. Let's see what the tier list is looking like real quick right before Tenpai comes out. Tier going up. A lot of the results here are with the field spell being unbanned, so don't think, oh wow, with it being banned, it went up. It did at least top a tournament. If we click on tier limit here, we'll see that all of these decks are illegal besides the most recent tournament top. Now, the tier list itself will situate itself out within a week or two, including the more of the post-ban list results, and that will be much more accurate as it is right now. Snake Eye Fire King's probably going to fall out of tier 2. My prediction with Tenpai, tier 1 is going to be Yubel and Tenpai. That's going to be tier 1. I don't really have predictions for tier 2 and tier 3, but just tier 1, it's going to be all about Yubel and Tenpai as the top 2 decks. That's going to be the main new meta. More Yubel, I know, but maybe Yubel's going to get hit again. Or Yubel's going to stay unhit and then Fiendsmith comes out and the deck becomes even better. That's another situation. So thank you very much. We out.